Guys, I'm Sherry. I'm with Mother Daughter Crafting, and today I have an ink project that I want to do. I'm going to use this transfer, Relax and Accept the Crazy, on this t-shirt. Now if you notice, I have our ink mat here. It's sticky on this side, and it's a little bit, I don't know, maybe not quite 1/8 of an inch thick, probably less than that. But it also acts as a blotter, so it won't go through to the other side of your t-shirt or whatever material you're using. Now ink, a lot of times, just its natural character is to kind of spread out on the fibers. So sometimes, to try to help prevent that, when I work with fabric, I use this spray adhesive. I'm sure there's more, but this is just the one I use. And you don't put it on the transfer. Don't ever do that, because you can block the netting on here. But I put it on the material, let it dry, and then I ink. It makes it a little bit tacky, but after you heat set your ink, you could throw it in the washer and it's fine. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, smooth out all the wrinkles on the shirt. This is a sticky part in here, so it helps you keep the fabric still. Then take this off of the backer. Now this is the first time I've used this transfer, so I want to mark the back, because this transfer is reusable, and there's a right side and a wrong side to put it back on here. So I'm going to write back, and so when I go to put it back there, I will not put it where it's marked. I'll put it on the glossy side, which is right here. And of course, the sticky side of the transfer goes to the glossy side. Okay, so let's take this off. Now, a lot of times in new transfers, I will fuzz it, which just means take like a fuzzing towel, like this, to take off some of the stickiness. You're just going to fuzz it up so it's not quite sticky. However, when I do on material, I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that it does stick to the fabric really good, just to prevent from having leaks. Now, I want to try to center this, and I'm just eyeballing it. Of course, you can do it any way you want. You can measure it. It would take me forever to do that, but that's okay. All right, if it's not exactly perfect, that's just me. So, trying to get some of the folds out of here. Okay. So, when you think you have it the way you want, just take it with your hand and just spread it out. Make sure you've gotten all the bubbles out of it, because if there's bubbles left in it, it's going to seep underneath the transfer and bleed through, and you won't like the results. Now the ink is permanent, so you got to be careful that you don't get it where you don't want it. So go through here. So just be careful, and if you get it on your hands, which usually always happens, just have something close by that you can wipe your hands with, so you don't put fingerprints on the part you don't want. All right, now the colors I'm going to use today are bright white, and this is an old Midnight Sky is an old ink that's been retired, but we do have other blues, dark blues. Let's see, Couture Teal. which matches pretty much. Let me look up on the catalog real quick and see what color ink we have that is close to that dark blue. Okay, let's see. Inks. Cadet would probably be the closest. And then Colonial Blue too could be used. That's more like a denim blue. And then the dark blue would be Cadet, would be the closest to this Midnight that I'm using. All right, now I am going to use this dark blue on this part because it's a little bit smaller and I want it to show up. And this part I'm going to do a technique called Hot Mess. And I'm going to use all three colors, the white, the midnight sky, and the teal. So the first thing I want to do is get all of my ink ready. Now, I don't want to do this on top of the shirt because I don't want to get any ink on there by mistake until I'm ready to. So I'm going to kind of cover this up for now. You want to get your inks all ready first before you get onto this, because there's the dark blue. There's a drying time. You don't want to dry on your transfer. You want it to dry on your fabric or your surface. Now, ink does take longer to dry than paste, so you do have more time to work with it. But it's still always good to get your ink or paste, whatever you're working with, ready before you start. Now this is ink that I've had for a while, but I haven't opened yet. So you can see, gosh, I've probably had this a couple years. Ink does have a longer shelf life than paste does. And I had another one that I probably had 3 years. It still works, but it's really, really thick. So that's why I opened the new one. Always check your hands. I put fingerprints on a lot of projects. Then you gotta figure out how to cover that up, which is which sometimes is a challenge. Okay. Now, let's start with, I'm going to start with the blue on top here, the small one. It helps when you're working with ink to keep going all in one direction. Just so you don't disturb the material underneath. As you can see, it's starting to bubble up here. So if you do it all in one way, you can hopefully avoid any mistakes. And you do want to get a chance to get the ink through the netting. Make sure you cover everything and then smooth out the lines. The lines will show up on here, so if you have a glob of paste, it will show up. All right, we got the blue. Now we're going to work on the hot mess. Of course, I have to move that, right? Always check your hands. Okay. Now I'm just going to glob this on different places. And you notice I can't always talk and do something at the same time. So, if you're on here, say hi. I'm always interested in seeing who's watching. And I'm not the greatest on checking comments or even being able to find them. So, but I will look at it as best I can. I like this teal, and I want some of that in here. Kind of go with the sleeves. Plus, I just think it's a pretty color. And this is why this is called a hot mess. And I might have to put some more paste on here. Just dab it all around wherever you think. The only thing with this is you really can't save any excess. You know, a lot of times I'll scrape off the extra and put it back in the jar. But when you do this technique, you'd be making a new color. So you don't want to put it back in any of these jars. But you could put it in another jar, another container if you have that much left over. Now, what I'm going to do is take this squeegee and I am just going to kind of swirl it around, all going down right now. So you can kind of see where the name comes from. It does look kind of like a hot mess. It also looks a little bit like marbling, and I've heard it called that too. So whatever you want to call it. It really is a very forgiving technique, because you don't have to be exact with all your colors on the silkscreen transfer, the netting. And the netting in here is what gives you such a crisp, nice design. Now you want to go back and make sure you got everything covered. And I want to come back here, see if I can give it a few more of this, because it looks like some places are not covered. And I want to make sure I've got it all before I pull this up. Let's see if we can put some more of the teal. trying not to get it up on the words on top. If some gets on there, I'm okay with that. I just thought the solid darker color would show up best. It's a little bit smaller print of the font. All right, now let's see if we can pick up some of the excess and check and make sure we've gotten all the areas. Oh, see, got ink on my finger, so I have to get that off before I pull this off. Now you see I am kind of doing it straight up and down, but there's not too much excess. Get that off of there. All right, now I want to wipe my hands. Before I pull that off. Okay, you're going to want to pull it from the straight edge, not the bias or the corners, because you could stretch out your transfer. I usually hold the material down as I pull up. There we go. See, hot mess to, I like it. I think it's really cool. And that's an easy design to do. Let me make sure I don't have any ink where I don't want. So what do you guys think? You like it? That was fast. That was easy. Now, you clean your transfer. You probably can see the netting if I bring it up close, even with the ink on it. That's what gives you your nice design. Also, when you wash it with just room temperature water, not hot, not cold, and then you clean it with water in your hands in the sink, and front and back. When the back, the sticky part, is wet, it loses its stickiness, so it makes it a little bit easier to work with. When it dries, it all comes back. So you want to make sure you wash this after you're through using it. Don't let it sit on there too long. Which I will do as soon as get off the live. Now, to make this really permanent and machine washable and dry, you're going to use either an iron or a heat press. And you're going to put parchment paper on here. Of course, this is still wet, so I'm not going to do it yet. If you use an iron, use your hot setting, dry, not steam, and for about 4 minutes on both the front and the back inside. And a heat press, I think I set it at 305 for 30 seconds, front and back. Also using the parchment paper. And then you can throw it in the washer, in the dryer. So that's cool. It almost kind of looks like a denim. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, everybody. It was a fast, short one. Thanks for waiting on me. Please, if you have any comments or if you would like to any more details on anything, just put it in the comments and I'll give you a link to my online shop, or if you just want to know more about it, we have Club Couture, which is a monthly subscription. I think it's $19.99. You get this size transfer that I just used, which is an 8.5 by 11, and 3 individual paste packets. A new one exclusive just to designers and Club Couture subscribers every month. Let's see, and there's also, if you've been wanting to try this but you're not sure, we have samples And if you'd like that, I can give you the links for that too. And the sample comes with a small tag and a little transfer, Home Sweet Home, a small squeegee, and black. Well, it's shimmer shadow, so it's a shimmer black little paste packet. It's pretty cool. I think it's right under $8, or round up to $8. What else? Yeah, just put in the comments if you're interested in any of these, and I'll send you a link. So, thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye.